Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and CA keeps teasing more and more stuff for the Brettonia release. First bit of news is that it's going to be released on the 28th of February, so at the very end of the month, and that it will be paired with the Old World Edition release. Now, we already knew about the Old World Edition prior, and that it would be paired with Brettonia. We just didn't have an exact date for when the whole pack would come out. So the Brettonia pack, if you don't know, is going to be for free. It comes with this new Old World Edition, but then also it rolls out for everyone else. It's going to include, obviously, new units for the custom battles, but then also a faction on the campaign map that gets updated. And yeah, so they have released a series of images prior. I'm just going to overview some of the ones we saw before. This one, for instance, shows one of the new units, the Green Knight there on the left. He's going to come in to save Bretonnia, and he's probably going to be one of their most expensive heroes I believe you can probably buy. I wonder if his appearance will even be tied to some sort of event in the campaign. Next, they're going to release a couple different images, and here we get to see some of the new units for Brettonia. Now, obviously, some of them are going to be the same as the current roster, but we do get to see a couple new ones. So the ones that are returning that we've seen previously are going to be the Peasant Archers, which are kind of the rear line of infantry, the Trebuchet, and then the Pegasus Knights. But then if we look at the kind of left-hand side, we see the Swordsmen at Arms as opposed to the Halberd or spear-armed ones. The peasants in the middle, in loose order formation, are going to be Grail Pilgrims. We did see a Grail Reliquary prior to this, which was a bunch of basically peasants around a chariot that they are holding up, or kind of a dead Grail Knight. But it's nice to see that they're also going to be including the Grail Pilgrims. And then the person on horseback over there does seem to be Fae, although it wasn't super clear who that was. I mean, presumably we're going to get multiple legendary lords that you can play with. Louon Leoncoeur, I'm sure, is one of them. Fae Enchantress is going to be another one. But perhaps that's another lord. I'm not quite sure. As I said, it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, this is very cool. I've always loved to play with Brettonia, even though their roster thus far has been pretty lackluster, with a lot of missing units. I'm very excited for these new units that they're going to plug into the roster gaps, and I'm very excited to see kind of what new stuff they introduce. Peasant Archers, for instance, I hope they give them deployable stakes or something like that, or even fire arrows. Next is going to be this other image that they did release. Again, a cool shot of a bunch of, again, similar units that we've seen before and new units. So the units we've seen prior are going to be Pegasus Knights up top, Knights of the Realm on the left, and then a Damsel and a Paladin. Now, the new units that we're going to see are going to be, if you look back on the left, it looks like Knights Errants there, the ones without helmets. Or I believe those are actually going to be either Knights Errants or Questing Knights. But there's a variety of different knights that you can see scattered around, and they are having two-handed swords there. And I believe that's going to give them, kind of similar to like great weapons, it's going to allow them to cleave through large monsters and other forces. And then also there's Fae in the center, and then if you look at the top right, a Hippogryph Knights unit. Those guys are going to be pretty freaking awesome. So the Hippogryph is the same mount that Louon Leoncoeur has, Becky, and so having a whole units of those is going to be murderously devastating. So very excited for that. Now back to the original post where they said they're going to be also releasing the Old World Edition. As I said, this is going to be kind of just CA rolling out with a bundle for Total War Warhammer. It's not necessarily much new in the way of content, but it is kind of a bundled together ploy to get people to get back into Total War Warhammer who missed the first wave of enthusiasm. So CA here in this post does confirm that the Old World Edition is pretty much the base game plus the Brettonia race pack that everyone gets, and then you also get included in this an exclusive novella, The Prince of Altdorf, by the Total War writer Andy Hall. So that comes all bundled together, and then they do actually say here the three playable legendary lords are King Louon Leoncoeur, Alberic of Bordelot, and Fae Enchantress. So actually that previous lord that I called it as Fae, who was kind of blurry, perhaps that was Alberic of Bordelot. So yeah, we'll have to wait to see more of those up close. Also, another thing to stay tuned for is kind of what's going to happen for DLC in the future. Right now, we've gotten all the way up into the new race being Bretonnia, but then the two additional boxes on the right are a new lord, and it seems to be that it's going to be something from the vampires. And then, question mark, an old friend. I'm not sure what that is supposed to be. Karl Franz is an old friend? I don't quite know what that is supposed to indicate. But the image there shown kind of looks like it's from Blackfire Pass, but I'm really not sure. And then, of course, on the bottom right, they do say plus more to come. So CA has announced that they're going to be investing a lot more in Total Warhammer than was initially anticipated. So that means a lot more free LC, a lot more DLC. So yeah, keep the content rolling, CA. We really enjoy it. And I, for one, am very excited to see what comes out of Brettonia in terms of not just new units, but new campaign mechanics. It's going to be very, very fun. I can't wait to see how they play in the Lady of the Lake, the Green Knight, and then Crusades potentially. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace out.